Hi guys, welcome back. This week we're going to do a video for Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. I actually got a request from iLlama8 and Flaunting Ash 810, and they said, we are new to this, so if you have any other points in this game, please let us know. So I just want to let you guys know, if you're watching this video, that this is actually going to be a video for beginners. If you've never played Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls before and you need some pointers, this might be a good video for you. If you're looking for a build or a more advanced video, you may want to try a different video. This is for the new guys. Okay, so we're going to cover a couple of different things in the video today. We're going to cover levels and how they work, and difficulty, because Diablo 3 has both dynamic and adjustable difficulty levels, and I'll kind of show you how that works in a minute. And we're also going to look at the artisans, which are things that you're going to unlock as you play through the game. All right, so first, levels. When you start in Diablo, you start at level 1, and the level cap is level 70. And as you know, every time you level up, you get a new set of skills. This is actually the Necromancer. He's one of the downloadable content guys. I actually really thought he was cool, and he's the only character I have that's not over level 70, so I kind of figured I would use him for the video. If you have characters that are over level 70, and chances are if you're starting out you probably don't, you can also put Paragon points into the ones that you just started. So it might be a good idea to actually have a really strong character, maybe somebody you're comfortable playing with, something that's very easy, and if you're having difficulty with one of the other characters, you can go back and kind of use the first character's Paragon points to help them. So when you level up, not only do you get new skills, the items that are dropped are going to be dropped comparable to your level. Also, the enemies in the game are going to be the exact same level as you. So in this way, Diablo, no matter whether you're playing on Act 1 or Act 5, is always going to keep the difficulty kind of standard. If you are level 45, like me right now, the enemies are level 45, and the loot is level 45. So one of the reasons you want to get to level 70 is, as soon as you get to level 70, you're going to get the drops that are the best loot that you can get. They're not necessarily going to be great drops, but all of the stuff will be level 70 when it drops. So if you're using something right now, so if you take a look at this staff, this is a level 40 staff. I just haven't found anything better than this, but the staff does plus 40 to 49 damage. It's got an intelligence boost, it's got a vitality boost. It was socketed, and I'll go over gems in a minute because those are really helpful too. But the stats that are on each piece of equipment are relative to the level of the equipment. So if you're level 70, those stats are going to be much higher than if you're level 40. Let's see if I have anything. Yeah, this is a level 33 pair of gloves, so this is actually going to be weaker than stuff I find now. I might find a level 45 pair of gloves. The difference is that there are different tiers of equipment, and these are all at least rare or better. So if we take a look at maybe the inventory over here. All right. They have anything that's not magical? They don't. Okay. So regular equipment is white, and it tends to have maybe one property, and it doesn't usually have a whole lot in the magical department. It doesn't have anything extra, really. The tier above that is blue equipment that's magical equipment. So this is a magical belt that has two properties. In this case, it's got vitality and physical resistance. All right. Above that are yellow objects. So they have anywhere between 3 and 6 properties, right? And those are the highest you usually are going to find in a shop. After that, you want to go find legendary items. And legendary items not only have the highest properties in the game, and they've got a gold rim around the outside, they also have special effects. So, for example, this is Leoric's Crown. Increase the effect of any gem socketed in this item by 90%. It does not apply to legendary gems. So what this is telling us is that if you stick a gem in here, you're going to get this added effect that doesn't come on any other equipment other than Leoric's Crown. This is actually unique to this particular piece of equipment. So legendary items are items that you find in the field, and we're going to go over how to increase finding legendary items in just a second. Actually, why don't we just go straight to that? Okay, so there's the difficulty that comes from just being the level of your character. In addition to that, there's the difficulty that you can set here. And right now I'm playing on expert because I'm a little bit more advanced, but I really kind of didn't want to push it too hard on this video. I didn't want to keep shooting the same monster over and over and over again and have it not get anywhere. You know, you can start out on normal, but what you're going to notice is as you get better equipment, you're going to be able to get through the enemies really quickly. Every time you go up a level of difficulty, you're going to get more experience points, you're going to get more gold, and you're going to get an increased chance that a legendary item will drop. Now, you're also going to get these bonuses here. On Master level, Imperial Gems can drop from level 61 monsters and higher, and those are good, and we'll go over gems in a minute. And then there's Torment, and this is an important level. See, there are all these different levels of Torment, and it goes all the way up to 13, right? And of course, everyone is much more difficult. I don't know what it is in the latest update, because I haven't jumped from Master to Torment yet. In previous updates, when you jumped from Master to Torment, it got very difficult. The reason for this is that Torment is where certain rare legendaries spawn. So there are legendary items that don't appear if you're playing on these 4 levels. You actually have to work your way up to Torment before you can start seeing the really good items. It's also going to increase the number of gems you get, the more gold, more experience points, so you're going to level up faster too. So basically, these levels here are for you to practice and get your feet under you. So by the time you hit level 70, you're supposedly ready for Torment 1. Now, the other thing I'm going to mention is don't beat the game your first time on Torment. There's an adventure mode after you finish the story game. Beat the regular game on whatever comfortable you feel playing. Because I'm going to tell you, the last boss is very hard. Especially if you're new to this. You might even want to bump it down a level from what you're actually playing. If you're comfortable beating regular monsters at, may say, expert, you may want to push it down to hard. Fight them first, see how you feel. You know, maybe you get through them the first time, unlike me, and you don't die. Okay, so that's kind of why you want to level up and why you want to push your difficulty level up as high as you feel comfortable. And it's important, too, that you feel comfortable with the difficulty level that you're playing on, because if you make it too hard, it takes forever to kill the enemies, and if you make it too easy, then you're just not getting any experience points, and you're not getting to the end fast enough. Now, one of the things that you can help, that can help you get through these levels faster, is socketed equipment and gems. Now, I actually took all the gems off of my equipment, so I could show you guys this. You can have sockets in armor, and a maximum number of sockets in armor is 3. You have sockets in the pants. You can have sockets in your weapon and your hat. And also there are sockets in some other items. Some rings can have sockets, amulets can have sockets. But mostly it's going to be these 5 sockets here. And yeah, I need to get one with 3 slots for sockets that you're looking to fill with different things. Plus, let's take a look at the gems, then I'll kind of explain what each one does. Okay. So if we look at, and we're not looking at the legendary stuff because you won't get that until after you beat the game. All right. Each gem, depending on where you socket it, is going to give you a different effect. So if you take a diamond and you put it in a weapon, it's going to give you bonus damage to elites. If you stick it in a hat, it's going to give you a cooldown reduction. And if you stick it in anything else, like a shield or armor, it's going to give you resistance. Okay. Rubies give your weapon just straight damage. You might think that's a good idea, but there's actually something better you can stick in a weapon. On a helm, it gives you bonus experience points. Yeah. If you stick it in armor or a shield or an amulet or a ring, it's going to give you a bonus to strength. Now, depending on what character you're playing, you're going to want the ruby, the topaz, the emerald, or the ruby, the topaz, or the emerald. Because a bonus to strength will help you if you're playing as a barbarian or a crusader, because that's their primary attribute. The topaz gives you a bonus to intelligence if you stick it in the others. That's for wizards, witch doctors, and the necromancer. So that's actually the one that we want. Also, if you stick it in a weapon, you get bonus damage to melee attackers. If you stick in a helm, you get a reduction on the amount of resources things cost. The emerald is for the monk and the demon hunter, because that gives you dexterity. Right? If you stick it on a weapon, however, it gives you plus critical hit damage. Now, critical hit damage is actually better than straight damage, because it's going to ignore your target's defense. So one of the things you're going to want to do as you're building your character, every time something drops, you're going to look for you see on this one, we've got cold damage, we've got intelligence, we've got vitality. The emerald in here is what's going to give me extra critical hit damage, right? If you're on the screen and you press square, right, you scroll down here, it's going to give you your critical hit chance. So every time you strike something, there's an 11.5% chance that you're going to deal a critical. The higher that number is, the more likely you're going to do a critical hit. And in this case, critical hits are going to do 245% damage. So a critical hit is going to do way more damage than just a regular hit. So it's better than just going with the straight damage bonus that a ruby is going to give you in a weapon. All right. So the emerald is really good for the weapon, and that's my advice for that one. The other one, this is a reduction for the diamond gives you a reduction to your skills. We'll do that one. All right, so there's a cooldown, and if you look at the little bar on the bottom, this one is actually a really long cooldown. The more you can put points into cooldown reduction, the faster those skills are going to come back for you. Now, that was actually one of the stronger skills, so that's actually got like a 1.5-minute cooldown, but that's fine because we have plenty of time to sit here and talk about that. Cooldown reduction, and like every stat you have in the game is on this page. You can look at anything and compare it. My cooldown reduction is almost 35%, so if that was a 2-minute cooldown, it would be about 1:20, I think. All right. But, so diamonds are good for helmets, emeralds are good for weapons, and then depending on your character class, I would choose one of these three. Now, I do know that there are builds out there that use amethysts. If you stick them in a weapon, you get life per hit, which is okay. If you stick them in a helm, you're going to get extra life, and if you stick them in your armor, you're going to get vitality. If you put these on your character, you're going to have a character that has a lot of hit points. The downside is they're not going to have a whole lot of attack power. The argument for going this route is if you have higher attack power, you're killing the enemies faster, so they're doing less damage to you. So it's a win-win if you do it that way. And I know that there are builds out there that use these. Maybe they do something with critical hits and they have just an intense amount of critical damage. But I haven't used one, and maybe you can find a build out there and try it. It might be interesting to try, because I have seen it in a lot of other videos. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about combining gems. All right. So your artisans, all three of them, are going to start out at level 1. And in the very beginning, they're only going to be able to craft one thing. You're going to take chips and turn them into a flawless topaz. If you train your artisan and they go all the way up to level, I guess, 12, they can create more stuff. All right? Of the 3 artisans, I recommend that you actually train the jeweler, Covetous Shen, first, because you're going to get a lot of gems, and having gems in your armor is going to actually give you kind of a boost. And we're going to take a look at that in a second. The higher up you go, obviously you're going to need more and more complex gems until you get to the top where you get a Flawless Royal, and then it's whatever. Flawless Royal Topaz, Diamonds, etc. And they're going to give you the most boost per gem. So since you only have 5 slots, you want the best gems possible in each of those slots to give you the maximum amount of boost. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to socket what I've got here. I actually have a couple of different gems because this is just what I had in my inventory. In a minute, Cormac. Okay. So yeah, if you look at the flawless one, it's going to give me plus 280 intelligence. The next one down... Oh, I've got 2 of those. The next one down gives you 160. The next one down gives you 100. Right? So before we put the gems in, right? Right now, our damage is 5,527. And I don't know if that's per second or whatever. It's just the number Diablo assigns for damage, and more is better. Right? And you actually don't need the jeweler to stick the gems in. You do need them to combine them. But you can actually go into your inventory, click on the jewels in your inventory, and then decide where you want to put them. So we got another almost 1,000 points just from that one. Oh, the rest of my stash? I think the rest are in my stash. Yes. Okay. Alright, next one. Alright, so we went from 5,000 to 7,000. Alright. And these are not going to give us as much of a boost because they're not as good, but every little bit helps. Okay, so not only that, it upped both my defense and my regeneration as well. Intelligence does actually affect more than just your straight-up damage. I believe it also affects your resistances. So that can also explain why you actually get more defense when you're putting these in. Okay, and we'll just dump the rest in here until I find more gems. And funny story, I actually have a lot of other gems. I needed the topaz, and I'll explain why in a minute, to craft a certain thing, or to get a certain attribute, I'll say. And I wound up using all of them before I bought the Necromancer, so I've had to kind of start from scratch with my topaz inventory, because I went through 167 flawless royal topazes to get one stat changed. More on that in a second. Okay, so Covetous Shen is your artisan for gems, all right? And again, you're going to want to train him. The higher levels of training, I think, require items from Torment. So there are items called Death's Breath, I believe, that you are going to need in order to give him his like final level in order to get the highest ones. Also, don't worry about whether or not you're wasting a socket, because you can actually take the stuff back out. So if I want to take these gems out and combine them, I can do that and actually get flawless topazes to put in to get a better boost. So that's okay. So you can kind of mix and match. It does cost money every time you pull it out and put it back in, but that's okay. All right, so your next artisan is the Blacksmith. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, he's not very useful. Except for repairing your stuff. Actually, I don't think you need it very much in the beginning. You can salvage your possessions. And what that will do is you will actually get items in your stash that you can use to craft things. Is it in here? Oh, no, it's actually in your inventory. This is good. What they did here is they actually made a crafting menu, so all the items that you actually use for crafting are in here, so they don't take up actual inventory space. It used to actually take up inventory space. You used to actually have to keep these in your stash or wherever, but if you break down different items, you're going to get different things. So if you break down rare items, you're going to get veiled crystals. If you break down magic items, you're going to get this arcane dust. If you break down regular items, you just get reusable parts. These get dropped by unique enemies on level Torment and above. And they get dropped pretty often. These are what happens if you break down a legendary item, and I clearly had a lot of legendaries because I got 1,274 of them. And then the rest of these are from adventure mode, and you'll find those as you go through. They're rewards for doing adventures. But you can't do that until you beat the game. Okay, so the reason he's not all that useful is, other than breaking some stuff down, by the time you actually get crafting stuff for him, right? First off, you've got to be of a certain level to get some of these items. So if I want these weapons, I need to be level 70, and I need to have all of the certain items that he requires for crafting them. Chances are, by the time you're ready to craft stuff at level 70, you've found better stuff already. The thing about the Blacksmith, if you're jumping from Master to Torment, you might find something in here that will boost you up just enough to get you started, but even at level 70, it's basically starter equipment. There's nothing in here really that you're not going to get better just by going around and finding stuff. I don't know if there's some stuff in here. I actually haven't seen that one before. Thank God for editing. I really screwed up that line. Let's try that again. It's just an axe. I don't see anything good here. Maybe I'll keep in the flub. I don't know. All right. So yeah. Anyway, back to it. Hadric doesn't really have a whole lot of useful stuff by the time you're ready to craft that stuff. The only thing I could think of that would be really useful from him afterwards is the Hellfire Amulet and the Hellfire Rings, which you get in adventure mode by beating... I haven't even done that. So, there are like special legendary places that you can go that you have to unlock that will come much later. Alright, then Miriam. Alright, so this is the Tinker, and she is theoretically the most useful of all of the endgame NPCs. What she can do like 3 things. She can enchant a weapon, and let's go over what that does. So on this weapon, I have 5 different stats. These are random stats that are generated with this glove. All right. So I have 122 intelligence, 92 vitality. I get attack speed, I get cold resistance, and I get experience per kill. So let's say I didn't like the attack speed. I wanted something else. All right. You can randomly swap out one of these stats. And what you would do is you would select one, and the cost for rolling a new stat is in the back. So you see, it's going to cost you... I just said that. They were in my crafting inventory. I haven't played Diablo in a while. It's going to cost you Arcane Dust and Veil Crystals. Yes, it's been a long time since I actually sat down and played. I've been playing Batman a lot. All right, so if I wanted to get rid of that, and I don't really, but what you could do is if you want to see what's available, hit square. Now what's going to show you is these are all the possible replacements you can have for that one stat. Now every stat's going to have different possible replacements because every stat is actually more or less valuable than another stat. So in this case, attack speed is comparable to having cooldown resistance, or resource cost resistance, area damage, critical hit damage, life per second, critical hit chance, and life per hit. So it's a fairly middle-of-the-road stat. It's got some good stuff here that we could swap out. And you can only swap one stat per item. So if you swap the attack speed, that's the one you're stuck with. Experience per kill is a little less useful, and if you look at that, these are not so good. So gold from monsters, thorns damage, so every time they attack you, they take damage. You get extra experience per kill. Gold pickup increase by 1 to 2 yards. 1 to 2%, that's actually pretty good. There's a 2.3% chance to stun on hit, or ignores durability loss, which your durability is not that big of a deal. Unless you get killed multiple times in a row, you're probably not going to have to worry about it. You just fix your stuff every time you go back to town. So if I wanted the stun, what I would have to do is I'd have to roll this stat over and over and over again. And actually, let's just do that because stat is actually kind of useless. We'll just do one. All right, so we roll it. It says only one property can be enchanted per item. If you choose this category, you won't be able to select another. So that's it. You pick experience per kill. That's what you're stuck with. And it rolls it, and you get 3 possible... All right, so 37 experience points per kill, gold pickup, or experience per kill. So this is the one we started with, and the other 2 are not as good. If you want to do that, you can re-roll it. And this is how you run through losing lots and lots of money and lots of stuff, because the more expensive the item is, the more money and the more rare materials it's going to cost to re-roll the stat. I'm just doing this one for fun, because, wow, I really can't get anything other than plus 37% experience per kill. We'll try one more time. All right, well, I guess we're stuck with that. So if you're at the end of the game and you've got like really good equipment, but there's just one stat on something you don't like, this is a way to change out that stat so it works better with your build. It gets expensive. And like I said, rarer items are going to cost those legendary crystals. They're going to cost death breaths. They're going to cost even items that you get from adventure mode in order to reroll. But at this level of the game, we're at level 45. We can still use it with some of these random stats. All right. Next thing she can do is Transmogrify. And what that means is she can make any item look like any other item. So it doesn't change the item at all. This is just a staff. But let's say I don't like the way this staff looks. I don't really have a problem with it, but we're going to do this just in case. You can just change it to make it look like anything else. Now, you've got a whole bunch of different options here. And I think you have to unlock them by breaking materials down. I'm not sure about that one. Oh, no, actually, you unlock them when you train her. She gets more and more stuff. You can actually make it look really interesting. Oh, that's actually really cool. That costs 50,000. Hey, you know what? Let's do it. I got plenty of money. So now I got a purple staff. It's exactly the same staff. It doesn't change any stats. It just makes it look nice. That's all. The other thing you can do is you can dye your clothes. So this glove I had here, and you see how my hands are silver because it's just a regular silver glove. Yes, it's the winter dye. Look, you can change it to any of these different colors, and that's another thing she gets as you train her. What color do I want my gloves? Well, I just got a purple staff, so let's have purple gloves. Now they match. Okay. And it doesn't change anything. It just makes it look nice. So these two are really just for show. And this is the important one, the enchant one, where you can change out those stats on high-level pieces of equipment. All right, so we've got all our stuff. We've gone over the 3 artisans. We just put in some gems, and we went over levels. So now we're actually going to go out and we're going to play for a little bit, and we're going to test out our Necromancer. And it, again, has been a while since I played as him, so I hope I remember how to play. I've got my skeletons. Yeah, and I don't have a build for him yet. I haven't even gotten him to level 70. I'm not picking that up because I know it's what's-his-name is going to talk. Alright, so with the Necromancer, I found at least every time you kill something, it leaves little corpses on the ground, and he can use them. So in this case, you can actually make them explode. You also have a curse. The explosion is really powerful, too. You can make the skeletons go crazy for a little while. What was on my L1 skill? Let's see. Oh no, that was just my potion. Alright, L1 is potion. Alright. Okay. And what is square? Oh yeah, alright, corpse explosion. Okay, and then R1 is... let's actually just take a quick look here before I... Bone armor! I forgot the bone armor. Okay, so yes.
That needs to recharge.
Oh. Oh, they actually need to be living enemies. Alright, so yes, you can steal bones from your enemies and wear it as armor.
That needs to recharge.
There we go. I think that gives you a... yeah, it gives you a little bonus damage, too. Okay.
Help me, please! Someone help! I'm being robbed!
I guess we should help that guy.
I will rip your tongue from your mouth. You fool! You think you can save this man? You have sealed your fate.
I think I can save this guy. I think we saved him. I'm not going to read the Game Imperial. I don't need somebody talking over me. And then you get a merchant. You just repair your stuff and go back out. I don't know why he lives out here in the middle of nowhere and is a merchant. That's a little strange. Alright, so let's see... oh, I killed him too fast. I was going to see what that other... here we go.
That needs to recharge.
Wow! I had forgotten about that. Okay, so you can just summon a whole bunch of skeletons and have them go after just one guy or a bunch of guys. Alright. The other thing with bone armor is the more people who are around, the stronger the bone armor. Yeah. I haven't really gotten through a lot of the different stats and skills with him yet. So far this seems to work out okay. There's not a lot of cooldown on the skeletons, too. Like, when I hit triangle to get the skeletons go into a frenzy, it comes back pretty quick. So you can actually kind of use that to break down some enemies pretty quickly. It does have a decent cost, so you can't do it for a long time. But if you're hitting something really tough, you can just kind of wear it down quickly. Okay. I should use skeletons on those guys.
My master would take pride in this.
Alright, so we get a level.
Decay and
Army of the Dead, Frozen Army. Okay. Harvest Essence. Okay, so I got 2 skills. Check a look at those real quick, and then I think we'll call it a video. Alright, Army of the Dead. What does Frozen Army do? The army tramples enemies in a line. Damage turns to cold. Okay. So that's another thing, is a lot of your skills are elemental in nature, so sometimes if you want to concentrate on a certain element, you can pick a skill. I actually kind of like the one where it knocks everybody together, because then if I have a bunch of the corpses and I can use the corpse explosion, I can kind of combo those. Alright, Frailty. Okay, a crippling curse that instantly kills enemies with low health. And Harvest Essence. Gain Essence when a cursed enemy dies. That's actually kind of useful. I think I might actually use that more. Alright, so one more thing I'm going to do right before we call this video. Alright, so we play on Expert. I did put the gems on. We're going to pump it up to the Master. You see my skeletons get a little bit more health. And we're going to see how that affects the game. Because that would actually be a good tip, too, is, you know, to see how comfortable it is. You don't want the game to be so hard that it takes forever to kill everything. You do kind of want to be able to get through it, but then again, you also don't want enemies that don't really give you any experience points or any gold, because if they're too easy, it's just not fun. So you have to find that happy medium of where you feel comfortable, and that's completely up to you. There's no maximum, minimum level or what you should be playing on. It's, you know, if you don't have good equipment right now, maybe you knock it down a bit. Yes. Oh, I forgot my bone armor.
I must wait.
Yeah, this is a little harder. And see what I mean about it takes a lot longer to kill them? It's not that I can't do it. It's that it's just a little too long to get through a fight. And that's not even like a pack of elites or anything like that. It's just regular enemies. Alright guys, so I hope these tips have helped you. You know, I hope you enjoy the video. Again, this was a video for beginners. You know, maybe I'll come back to the Necromancer once I actually have a decent build. But I kind of got sidetracked playing some other games. So I put Diablo down for a little while. I kind of have the tendency to do that where I'll put it down and I'll pick it back up and I'll put it down and I'll pick it back up. Diablo is fun like that in that you can play it for years and years and years and kind of have it be your side game because it goes on forever. And you can play other stuff in the meantime. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Probably with Batman. Alright, bye-bye.